In this week's episode, the iPhone 6 Plus burst into flames twice, the Note 7 replacements may be getting replaced, and Yahoo is letting the NSA and FBI spy on your stuff. This is Tech Weekly. So this week again, we're starting on Saturday, so let's get straight into it. So on Saturday, Meerkat announced that it's shutting down its Meerkat app, and instead they're going to be working on a new app called House Party, which allows for you to kind of open up a video call and have people jump in and jump out and stuff like that. And they kind of had to shut down Meerkat because of Facebook Live being as popular as it is and Periscope. They just couldn't really compete. Apple has also been ordered to pay $302.4 million after losing a FaceTime patent. So this has kind of been an ongoing thing that's been going on since 2010 between Apple and Verge. So Verge is basically a patent holding company and a software security company, and they claim that Apple was using their patent, or using two patents to be specific from them. So they won the case this time, but Apple's going to try and appeal it again. But as it stands now, they have to pay $302.4 million. And an iPhone 6 Plus burst into flames during a uni class. So he saw smoke coming out, and yeah, it was basically on fire. And the weird thing about this is the battery was actually dead, and it obviously wasn't charging because it was in his pocket. So yeah, it actually burnt a hole through the jeans, and Apple's just declining to comment on this at the moment. On Sunday, I looked for news and I couldn't find any noteworthy news, so let's just move on to Monday. So on Monday, Facebook has launched Messenger Lite, and this is basically a stripped down Messenger that's geared towards low-end phones, or phones that just might not have that much memory or processing power. It's supposed to run really nicely on those, and it's also helpful for people who don't want to use up a lot of data. So it's currently launched in these countries that should be shown here somewhere, but it might come out to other countries later on down the line. And continuing with the Facebook news, Facebook launched the Marketplace on Monday, where they basically allow you to buy and sell things with people in your local area. So this is kind of trying to take the place of some of the groups that formed on Facebook, where people basically bought and sold stuff. But this is supposed to be a more kind of official way to do it. Facebook isn't actually going to take any commission from this, so that's a big advantage of using Facebook Marketplace over something like eBay or Etsy or something like that. They instead just are happy that people are spending time in the app and seeing more of their ads and stuff like that. So it's currently available in these countries that are listed here. It's been available for me and I gave it a try. I didn't buy anything or sell anything, but I just had a look, and it looks pretty good so far. And it's going to be coming to desktop soon, but it's currently not available on it yet. They're going to be working to bring it to it. And the Microsoft Band appears to be dead. They've just removed it from their website. They're going to remove it from physical stores, and there's no sign that they're going to be replacing it. They said that they're not going to make a Microsoft Band 3 in 2016, so it seems like Microsoft might just let the band go because it mustn't have been doing as well as they thought it was going to do. macOS Sierra also automatically started downloading to Macs as of last Monday. You probably have yours downloaded already by now, but the thing is, it's not going to download if there's not enough space on your computer, if it runs out of space while it's downloading macOS Sierra, and it won't download if you've got automatic download switched off. This is the difference with this and the Windows 10 update that happened earlier. That one, even if you try to switch it off and disable it, it will just re-enable itself. With this one, Apple's saying, you know, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. It's fine with me. On Tuesday, WhatsApp was the latest company to copy Snapchat's features, and they took the drawing as well as the stickers, and they also took the double tap on camera to rotate the camera thing. They took the swipe up while recording to zoom. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you go onto WhatsApp now, you should be able to do all of that because the update should now be out on your phone. Amazon is taking a stance against incentivized reviews and is basically just banning them. They're not letting them on the site. So if somebody like offered you a free product in return for writing an Amazon review, then they're not really too happy with that because they think there's bias towards basically the reviewer, and they'll give them a better mark just because they were giving it for free. And it's the same thing if they offered them it at a discount. So they just don't want this on their site. They're still running their Vine program, but they're going to be weighing their opinion less than people who actually purchased the device. And they're going to keep working on their Vine program to improve it over time to hopefully get rid of any bias that might be in there. And kind of sticking on the topic of Amazon, David Foster, who used to work at Amazon, is now going to be the VP of Product Engineering at Google. So he's going to be leading future developments of smartphones, so for any smartphones that come in the future, he'll have a hand in it. And for another non-story that was just talked about so much that I kind of couldn't help but mention it, there's going to be a candle that has the smell of a new Mac. It's basically a candle that has the smell of like when you open a MacBook Pro box and you kind of smell that smell. It is a really nice smell, but I don't know, it just kind of exploded on the internet, so I thought I'd just mention it. The Made by Google event happened, and I'm not going to go over everything that happened because I made a dedicated video for that. So if you missed the event, or you just want a kind of roundup of it, then it's available over here in an annotation, a card up there, and in the description. And people aren't too happy with Yahoo at the moment because they apparently opened their floodgates to the NSA and the FBI to just basically peep on people's emails. Nobody's really said what the NSA or the FBI were looking for, but apparently the floodgates were just open, so they're not being as secure as they could be. And this is apparently why the chief security officer, Alex Stamos, left Yahoo, because this was apparently around the time that they opened the floodgates to these two organisations from the government. And in a response to people finding out about this, they offered this statement, which is going to be on the screen right now. So I'm personally thinking that it's not too big of a deal for me because they're not going to be looking through any of my emails in particular, because why would they want to? I don't really have anything they need. I mean, there's millions of emails, but I'd love to hear what you all think down in the comments down below about this, because it is a very controversial topic. Moving on to Wednesday, Apple has discontinued the 3rd generation Apple TV. And this is because they want to focus their attention on the 4th generation Apple TV. And this isn't really surprising, to be honest, because the 3rd generation was released all the way back in 2012. But Apple hasn't been the only one to remove things from their store. Following the Google event, Google's decided to remove the Nexus devices, other VR headsets, the Nvidia Shield, and the Dell Chromebook 13 from their online store. And this isn't surprising at all. It's because they're basically going to make space for all the devices that they announced at the Google event. Which again, if you want to watch the video roundup, it's in the description. Something that I didn't mention during that video though is Google's going to be renaming Google Cast to Google Home. And this is because Google Home, or what was called Google Cast, is going to be used to manage the Google Home device, which is kind of like this air freshener looking thing, which is going up against Amazon's Echo devices. And it's basically this home assistant thing where you can just shout, "Okay Google," and say whatever you want, and this device thing replies to you and stuff. So yeah, the app's supposed to work with that, but of course it's still going to have all of the Google Cast functionality that it had in the past too. Microsoft also announced the date for their Connect event, and it's going to be on November the 16th and 17th, and as per usual, it's most likely going to be live streamed directly from New York, where they're going to be holding the event. It seems like the Note 7 replacements may need to be recalled again, because these replacements apparently are catching fire too, because a man's Note 7 actually caught fire while he was switching it off in a Southwest Airlines flight. So the flight didn't go anywhere, but the flight had to be evacuated because it caught fire. And when a man went back to get some of his possessions that he left on the flight, he said that it actually burnt through the carpet and was like burning through the floor. So it seems like they might need to be recalled again. I think they should just stop selling the Note 7, to be honest. It's causing them more trouble than it's worth. And although an official recall hasn't been given, everyone pretty much other than T-Mobile is offering to replace the phones, so people can bring them back, and it's just a bit of a mess really. And during the time that Samsung wasn't worrying about the Note 7, it decided to pick up Viv, which is basically the company that worked on Siri before they sold Siri over to Apple. So Viv has came out with a really impressive product. It's basically like a super enhanced Siri where it actually kind of builds the program that it uses to kind of respond to people's questions as it's going along. It's kind of hard to explain it. It's best that you watch the video, which is linked in the description down below, so be sure to check it out. But it looks really impressive, and it will definitely give Samsung an edge if they decide to bring it into their phones. And yeah, they are going to both work independently, but obviously Viv is going to supply their products to Samsung. That's how it's going to work. On Thursday, this isn't so much news, but it's just a super interesting article by The Verge that I thought I'd share on here. So basically it's about this lady called Iguina Cuda, I hope I said her name right, and it's basically her quest to bring back her friend in the form of AI. So she's basically taken all of the messages that she had with him as well as other people had with him, and is trying to put them into this algorithm that's gonna give her replies that he would have given when she sends a text message to this AI. And it's a really, really interesting story, and they kind of got it working at the end, and some people liked it, some people didn't, but I'm not going to give too much away. It's in the description, and it's definitely a really good read. It's a really long read, but it's a really good one. There's an iPhone 7 glitch going around, which is actually locking people out of their phones that they've never even used before. So apparently what's happening is that these iPhone 7s are somehow being tied to other people's Apple IDs, which means that they've got activation lock on, and unless they have that person's password, they're not going to be able to get in. So they're just kind of being stuck with a phone that's not basically working. So if they purchased it through Apple, they can contact Apple, and then they'll unlock it with proof of purchase by the person. But for people that purchased it not from Apple, this may be an issue for them because they can't offer proof of purchase. And for all Apple know, they could have stolen it, so these people are basically just out of luck with this phone. Because Google is making some changes to Safety Net, which is basically making SU hide and Magisk just not work, because people who have been using them to play Pokemon Go have no longer been able to do it anymore. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure the Android community will find another way to hide people's roots, but as of now, Google's patched the way that they were doing it before, so they're going to have to come up with a new way to do it. There was also an Oculus event on Thursday, and Oculus announced the Oculus Touch, as well as Oculus in-ear headphones, and they demoed the Oculus Rift working on a $500 PC, which is kind of crazy because they usually only work on $1,000 and above PCs, because the stuff on them needs to be running at 90 frames per second usually. The RX 100 Mark V as well as the A6500 were announced on Thursday too. So they're both now faster to focus and just faster to operate in general, but the A6500 gains a touchscreen as well as 5-axis image stabilization, so videos and stuff taken with that should be a lot more stable. On Friday, Google announced an open source font, and this font's going to be able to support 800 languages. It's made up of 110,000 characters, which is crazy. They've been working at it for over the last 5 years, and it comes in at 472 megabytes, which is crazy for font packages. Although you are going to be able to download only the parts of it that you need, so if you only want English, you can just download English and stuff like that. Microsoft also announced that they're going to be holding a Surface event on October the 26th, and they didn't actually say that it's going to be a Surface event, but that's kind of what's assumed is going to be there. There's nothing confirmed yet. But this is going to take place at 10 AM ET, and is very likely to be live streamed. And to end off this week's Tech Weekly, another iPhone 6 Plus burst into flames. So this happened on a woman's dresser. Basically, she just left it there and it just kind of smoked and burst into flames. The husband had to take the phone and throw it into a sink to defuse it. So Apple is offering her a replacement iPhone 6 Plus. Not an iPhone 7 or anything like that, but just a 6 Plus, because they said that she'll have to pay more for the iPhone 7. And also as a kind gesture, they offered her an Apple Watch stand for free. But why are all these phones bursting into flames all of a sudden? But anyway, that's it for this week's news. If there's anything you think I missed, again, be sure to leave it down in the comments down below, or send me a message and tell me that on Twitter. If you want to see last week's video, it's available either at that side or at that side. I don't really know which side it is. And if there's anything you want to catch up on, again, it's either that way or that way. I should really check which side it is. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye. I don't know why I did it with two hands.